A girl just transmigrated to the interstellar orc world and immediately took a giant white rabbit as her dad. Not only did she treat the mutant planet that no one dared to set foot on as her own backyard, she even ate the dangerous Zerg until they became a protected species. Meanwhile, in the interstellar territories, the Marshal was fretting over being unable to wipe out the Zerg when he accidentally stumbled upon the girl's live stream, 36 Ways to Cook Black Flame Dragon Insects. Right now, Xiaomo had just opened her eyes, only to see a rabbit looking at her worriedly. "Baby, you're finally awake. I thought you were gonna die on me." As the rabbit spoke, he shoved the ginseng in his paw toward Xiaomo's mouth. "Eat more, baby. You'll feel better once you eat this." Xiaomo's brain short-circuited on the spot. She could actually hear a rabbit speaking human language. She stared blankly at the rabbit in front of her. 3 seconds later, a pop-up window appeared out of nowhere. Steel-tooth rabbit, male, ferocious beast. One of the Abyss overlords. Just lost his cub. Mentally unstable. Mistook you for his cub. Looking at the maxed-out favorability rating, Xiaomo realized this giant rabbit in front of her probably wouldn't hurt her, so she tilted her head. Ducking away from the ginseng the rabbit was shoving at her. Eating the whole root would be way too nourishing. Her body couldn't handle it at all. But the giant rabbit had no idea Xiaomo was a human. He just thought his cub was being stubborn and refusing to eat. So for the sake of his cub's health, the giant rabbit held Xiaomo's head still with one paw and kept shoving the ginseng toward her mouth with the other. Xiaomo was just about to struggle when a sharp pain shot through her body. She could only say with a twisted face that the ginseng was way too nourishing. A weak body can't handle such strong tonics. "I'll die if I eat this." The giant rabbit froze when he heard that. "But everyone in my clan eats this when we get hurt." Xiaomo thought to herself that she was human, with an entire species barrier between her and the rabbit. So she said seriously that she really couldn't eat this. She would die otherwise. The rabbit scratched his ear after hearing that. "Then what do we do?" "Your body needs to heal." The giant rabbit scratched his ear and started pacing in circles. "I got it!" He hopped happily. "Baby daddy's taking you to rob stuff. To get you something to nourish your body?" With that, he opened his mouth to pick Xiaomo up. "Our rob stuff?" Xiaomo was too shocked to speak. This giant rabbit was one of the Abyss overlords. Whoever he robs must be as strong as him or even stronger. If two big shots fight, would she even survive? Xiaomo quickly waved her hands to stop him. "No, wait, I have medicine." She pulled up her system panel, opened the storage, and took out an advanced healing potion. The moment she drank it, her body was completely healed. "Look, I'm all better now." "Oh, right, where am I?" The giant rabbit looked a little awkward. "How did you forget again?" "I've told you so many times. This is the Abyss on Egret Star. It's our orc territory." Looking at the rabbit's very human-like expression, Xiaomo couldn't help laughing. "Got it, I'll remember this time." The rabbit grunted in response, then said in a serious tone, "You're not allowed to run outside during this period." A group of humans showed up in Area 8 above the Abyss. Humans? Xiaomo subconsciously wanted to go find them, but she had just brought it up. When the rabbit flat out refused, "No way, all humans are bad news. I'm not taking you there." Xiaomo didn't want to give up. After all, she was human herself. After thinking for a moment, she decided to tell the truth. "I'm human. Haven't you noticed I look nothing like you?" The rabbit's expression froze instantly. He was silent for a long while before speaking slowly. "But you're my cub." Xiaomo thought for a bit before speaking. "I'm really happy you see me as your cub, but I have to correct you on this. I'm human, and you're a rabbit. No matter what, a rabbit can't give birth to a human." The rabbit stared at her for a long time, before speaking reluctantly. "What you said is right, but you're still my cub. You smell like me." Looking at the stubborn giant rabbit, Xiaomo felt a little helpless. "Fine, no dignity it is. Dad, I want to go see those humans." "Please?" Xiaomo shook the rabbit's paw coquettishly. The rabbit was silent for a while, and finally nodded. "I have to spoil my own cub, right? It's just going to see some humans. No big deal. He's an Abyss overlord. He can definitely protect his little cub." So the human and the rabbit left the Abyss together. When Xiaomo walked out of the unfamiliar bushes, she saw a tree covered in fist-sized, glistening red fruits. She asked her rabbit dad, "Can we eat these fruits?" The rabbit glanced at the fruits and said hesitantly, "These fruits are radioactive. I'll be fine if I eat them, but I don't know if it's safe for you." Worried that Xiaomo would eat random stuff, he warned her, "Baby, tell Daddy if you're hungry, don't eat random stuff. It'll get you killed. I'm not kidding." Xiaomo nodded. She wasn't hungry. She just got excited when she saw new ingredients. The rabbit explained to her, lower and mid-tier species on the food chain are limited by their genes, so they can only absorb a small amount of pollution. High-tier species, due to their varied diet and energy conversion ability, have shockingly high levels of toxic pollution built up in their bodies. So you absolutely cannot eat random things? The human and the rabbit kept going. Walking further along the path, Xiaomo didn't find a single edible species the whole way. But they ran into a 20-meter-long giant python on the way. Xiaomo was so scared when it appeared that her soul almost left her body. The giant rabbit, however, was completely calm. When he saw how scared Xiaomo was, he instantly killed the python in a fit of rage, the blood oozing from the dead python's wound. Almost instantly, corroded a huge pit in the ground. The surrounding plants also started turning yellow, then withered and died. Seeing this scene, Xiaomo never dared to think about eating any living creatures again. The human and the rabbit continued moving forward. Right at that moment, a buzzing sound suddenly came from not far away. A zerg that was a full 4.5 meters tall came into their view. The giant rabbit knew. This was the zerg species famous across the entire star sector. For its defense and reproductive capabilities, zerg are the biggest headache for all humans. They've been wanting to wipe them out for ages. Xiaomo looked at this big bug that looked just like a crayfish and asked the rabbit, "Dad, what's this big bug called? Is it a high-tier or low-tier creature?" The rabbit looked at the bug with disgust and said, "This big bug is a low-tier creature. It's not affected by radiation, eats everything, and has an insane reproduction rate. I have to kill it. Otherwise, if it gets into the abyss, our territory will turn into a bug nest." As soon as the rabbit finished speaking, whoosh! He slashed the big bug in half with his claw. After the big bug was dealt with, the rabbit waved his paw at Xiaomo. "Baby, we can go now." Xiaomo hummed in response and ran quickly toward the rabbit. When she passed the bug's corpse, she stared at it curiously for a few seconds. She was just about to look away and leave, when a shiny pop-up window suddenly appeared above the bug corpse. Black cloud flame dragon insect. A member of the zerg species. Omnivore. Edible. Xiaomo froze mid-step. Her gaze fell back on the bug corpse again. "Dad, can you wait for me a few minutes?" The rabbit had no reason to say no. He wishes the kid would take more time dawdling, so he won't run into any humans. Then the kid will be his and his only. But Papa Rabbit had just steeled himself when he saw Xiaomo pull out a knife and climb onto the back of the giant bug. "Kid, what are you doing? This giant bug is edible. I can't let it go to waste." Xiaomo thought there was way too little edible stuff on this planet. It's not every day you find something you can eat. It only makes sense to keep it as reserve food. Papa Rabbit was stunned when he heard that. "This giant bug is edible?" "Yep," Xiaomo nodded. The system's ingredient identification function has never been wrong. Papa Rabbit watched her cut up the bug carcass with the knife. He spoke up with a hint of distress. "Kid, this kind of work isn't for you. Let your godfather do it for you. Tell me how you want it done." As he spoke, Papa Rabbit bared his sharp claws again. Under Xiaomo's guidance, he quickly cut the bug carcass into pieces. Right now, Xiaomo had no idea that her lousy broken system had turned on without her knowing at all. The livestream caught a lot of passersby. When they saw the livestream room with the ID "Zerg tastes super good," they were curious. Zerg are edible? So they clicked in to watch. When Luja saw the rabbit cutting up the bug carcass, he commented, "Hey, beast race friend, what are you taking apart the Zerg corpse for? You're not actually planning to eat the Zerg, are you?" Xiaomo had no idea about the livestream at all. Meanwhile, Papa Rabbit had already pried open the carapace on the back of the black cloud flame dragon bug and picked out about a pound of crystal clear bug meat. "Kid, are you sure this meat is edible?" Papa Rabbit's voice rang out. Viewers in the livestream also started commenting. "This bug meat actually looks kinda nice. Is the beast race friend really gonna eat Zerg?" Xiaomo used her dagger to cut from the piece of bug meat Papa Rabbit had set aside. A thin, small slice, and put it in her mouth. After chewing a few times, she gave Papa Rabbit a thumbs up. "Papa Rabbit, this bug meat is super tasty. It's tender and chewy, and it's super sweet and fresh. Hey, how can you eat random stuff? What if you get poisoned and die?" When Papa Rabbit saw Xiaomo eating the bug meat, he instantly puffed up in alarm. He lifted a paw and clamped it on Xiaomo's jaw. His other paw moved without hesitation, trying to reach into Xiaomo's mouth to make her throw up manually. Xiaomo instinctively swatted Papa Rabbit's paw away. "Papa Rabbit, don't worry. I'm fine, really, I'm okay." Right at this moment, the livestream viewers finally noticed Xiaomo. "Hey, do you guys think That girl's uniform looks really familiar. Someone commented to confirm. That's our Earth Sect field survival suit. Am I the only one who thinks this giant rabbit looks familiar? If I'm not mistaken, he's the Abyss Overlord famous across the Empire years ago. Steel Fang Rabbit? So what's going on here? An Earth Sect Junior was kidnapped by the Abyss Overlord and started a live stream to call for help? Someone from Earth Sect speak up. Does your school have a student that went to the Beast Race's planet? After waiting a long time for a reply from Earth Sect with no luck. The viewer's attention went back to the live stream, only to see Xiaomo cut another small piece of meat. Papa Rabbit. Trust me, the bug meat is really good. It's sweet, fresh, and chewy, and it has just the right amount of stickiness. The texture is a bit like crystal loquat. For real? Papa Rabbit hesitated, staring at Xiaomo, with a look that said he wanted to try it but thought it was gross. When he saw Xiaomo cut another small piece and eat it, the greedy little voice in Papa Rabbit's head finally went out over his disgust for Zurg. He waved his fluffy rabbit paw and said, "Kid, get me a slice too." Xiaomo cut a piece of meat and handed it over. Papa Rabbit opened his mouth and swallowed it whole, then looked surprised. This bug meat is way tastier than those rich-flavored giant radishes. He picked up Xiaomo's boning knife and carved a huge chunk of meat off the bug, then took a huge bite out of it, chewing it in his mouth. This is really go... He didn't even finish his sentence. Papa Rabbit's floppy ears suddenly perked straight up. Then he looked at Xiaomo with a complicated expression. "Kid, I have some bad news for you. The humans in Sector 8 have left." Xiaomo felt like she'd been struck by lightning. Left? I don't believe it. I have to go check. She couldn't accept this fact. She turned to run immediately, but she had just taken a step when Papa Rabbit's claw instantly wrapped around her waist. "Don't be scared, kid. I'll lift you up high so you can see the human spaceships." Before Xiaomo could say anything, she found her field of view getting higher and higher. The surrounding vegetation gradually disappeared from her sight. What came into view was an endless sky, and 7 iron-black sci-fi-looking spaceships. The ships shot straight up into the sky right in front of Xiaomo's eyes. In just a few breaths, and completely vanished from her sight. Xiaomo stared at the direction where the ships had disappeared, and let out a long sigh. She had accepted her fate. To survive on this toxic planet in the future, she had to cling tightly to Papa Rabbit's thigh. Otherwise, she might not even survive 3 hours. "Dad, I'll have to rely on you to protect me from now on." "Oh my God, kid. Does this mean you accept me? You won't go back. You won't go back to human society anymore?" Papa Rabbit was so excited he almost cried. "Don't worry, I'll definitely protect you well. I'll never let you get hurt ever again." Just thinking about the future. The fun days he and the kid will spend running wild in the abyss. Papa Rabbit wanted to grin like a silly rabbit. But Xiaomo couldn't be happy at all. Just thinking that she'd have no house to live in the future. No soft big bed to sleep in. Even showering and using the bathroom would be inconvenient. Made her want to cry. But life had to go on. She decided to turn her sadness into appetite. After she got down from Papa Rabbit's paw, she started thinking about making a big meal. Meanwhile, the people in the live stream were going crazy. Why was an Emperor Sect student left alone? When the accompanying instructors noticed a student was missing, did they just leave without even looking for her? Just then, an administrator from Empire Comprehensive University appeared. We contacted the 9th Legion. Half of the accompanying instructors were sent out to do a blanket search for 2 whole days and nights. But we couldn't find her. Because the Interstellar Navigation Department confirmed the return route very early on. So the main team had to give up the search and return first. But that doesn't mean we've given up on Student Jian. After we received a report from a student that Student Jian had started a live stream, we have already contacted the management of the Olive Branch platform to ask them to help us confirm Student Jian's coordinates. This was a user with the ID Hologram Architect. Commented, "Bailu planet has no star network. If Olive Branch wants to find Student Jian's coordinates, it's basically impossible. Emperor Sect should ask for help from the closest force to Bailu planet. The permanently stationed heavy weapon, Planet Vanguard Army," the Empire Comprehensive University administrator replied. "Thank you for the suggestion, Hologram Architect. We are already contacting them." Back in the live stream, none of this affected Xiaomo at all. Right now, she had already asked Papa Rabbit to bring stones, to build an earthen stove and start a fire. Then she took out from the system warehouse ingredients to prepare. After cutting the vegetables, she put them in a transparent round container. Then she took a rice cooker out of the warehouse. When she opened it, there was half a pot of leftover rice inside. Shamo looked at the rice, then looked at Papa Rabbit. She asked to confirm, "Dad, are you sure you can eat anything?" "Don't worry, baby. Beast race physical strength is nothing like those weakling humans. You don't have to worry about poisoning your dad at all." Hearing this, all the human viewers in the live stream went silent. They felt personally attacked. Then Shamo said, "Since Papa Rabbit said so, let's fry all the rice then." She takes the shredded greens and fluffy rice and stir-fries them in the wok one after another. With a casual flick of her specially made spatula, the golden fried rice dotted with emerald green greens is poured into a porcelain plate. Daddy Rabbit and the viewers in the live stream were all mesmerized by her smooth, fluid movements. Right after that, they surprisingly smelled a wonderful aroma that grew from faint to strong. They couldn't help sniffling hard. Even the saliva in their mouths started secreting rapidly. "What on earth is this? I can actually smell it through the screen. That's so amazing. It smells so good." It smelled so good I couldn't hold back my greedy hands and chugged 2 bottles of nutrient solution in a row. "I can't take this anymore. Streamer, hurry up and tell me what you're making." But Shamo didn't even know. The live stream was on. How could she answer their questions? Once the greens fried rice was done, she placed the 2 large porcelain plates of rice into Daddy Rabbit's paws again, told him to hold them steady and not to sneak any bites. Next, she made a beautiful sashimi platter with bug meat. Then she took a lemon out of her system storage. She cut it open and squeezed the juice over the bug meat. "All right, Daddy Rabbit, you can eat now." The big white rabbit was already drooling like crazy. He picked up a plate of fragrant fried rice, held the plate with both paws, and buried his face right into the rice. He started gobbling it down. Seeing Daddy Rabbit like this, Shamo's hand that was holding the spoon froze. She twitched the corner of her mouth and called out to Daddy Rabbit. The big white rabbit whimpered and lifted his fluffy face covered in rice grains from the plate. Looking at him with rice all over his face, he looked exactly like a 2 or 3-year-old kid. Shamo stuffed the spoon into Daddy Rabbit's paw and showed him how to use it. "Eating with this won't get rice all over your face." The big white rabbit's eyes lit up. "That's great." Before he finished speaking, he quickly scooped up a full spoonful of rice and stuffed it into his mouth. The look on Daddy Rabbit's fluffy face was absolutely blissful. "I've never eaten anything this delicious in my life." After Daddy Rabbit finished eating, he smacked his lips, looking completely satisfied. His bright red eyes stared eagerly past Xiamo at the rice left on the plate. "I'm still hungry. What do I do if I want more?" Hearing this, Shama smiled. "It is really delicious, but unfortunately we won't be able to eat it anymore. We're out of rice, unless we can find an ingredient to replace rice." Then she picked up the bug sashimi platter lined with big leaves and handed it to the big white rabbit. "Daddy Rabbit, don't even think about going after my rice. If you're still hungry, eat the sashimi." The big white rabbit mumbled in agreement and reluctantly tore his gaze away from the fried rice. He then picked up a slice of bug meat from the sashimi platter and put it in his mouth. Thanks to the lemon juice squeezed on top, the fresh, sour taste and unique aroma made the bug meat taste even more layered. "This is so good, it's incredible." Daddy Rabbit unconsciously sped up his eating. In less than 2 minutes, he finished off the entire full plate of sashimi. He looked at Shamo and praised, "You really are my kid. We're both equally talented." Hearing this, the live stream viewers were speechless. The Abyss Overlord even praises himself while complimenting the streamer. "That's so narcissistic." Shamo saw the big white rabbit still licking his lips nonstop and asked in surprise, "Daddy Rabbit, are you still not full?" "Ha ha ha." Daddy Rabbit grinned sheepishly with his 3-lobed mouth. "That little bit wasn't even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth." "Wait here then. I'll make more sashimi for you." Shama took the sashimi knife and started slicing more bug meat to feed Daddy Rabbit. I have to say, Daddy Rabbit has a huge appetite. He ate a whole giant bug that weighed hundreds of pounds and was only barely full after finishing all of it. Even though humans have long left this planet, Xiamo still wanted to visit areas where humans used to live. Daddy Rabbit couldn't convince her otherwise, so he had to take her on the road again. As they got closer and closer to Sector 8, they found more and more ingredients along the way. Just then, Xiamo came back carrying an object that was even bigger than her head. Daddy Rabbit, who was tying up the Lulu beast, quickly grabbed the basket and walked over to greet her. "What's that, kiddo?" Xiamo replied, "It's a lion's mane mushroom. It's sweet and delicious. You'll go crazy for it." Xiamo never expected that ingredients on planet Belu are distributed in different areas. The day before yesterday, she found black truffles and fat lemons, and yesterday she found spices like mint, cinnamon, and more. Every single one of them was identified as top-grade ingredients and spices. "Daddy Rabbit, we're having a feast tonight!" Then Xiaomo looked at the black and white Lulu beast that looked almost identical to a domestic spotted pig and asked, "Daddy Rabbit, do you know where there's a water source?" "Sure I do. Daddy will take you there." After Daddy Rabbit picked up the Lulu beast, he gestured for Xiaomo to follow him. Xiaomo hasn't eaten any staple food for 2 days, and she urgently needs high-calorie food to maintain the nutrition her body needs. She recalled how people slaughtered pigs in her past life, then took a pufferfish knife out of her storage. She asked Daddy Rabbit, "We don't have a professional pig slaughtering knife, so I have to use this instead." "Dad, will the smell of blood attract hard-to-deal high-level beasts?" "No, it won't." Daddy Rabbit said domineeringly, "Your dad is the Abyss Overlord. Those high-level beasts will smell my presence from far away and avoid us automatically. They won't come looking for death. Only low-level creatures like Lulu beasts and Zerg aren't afraid of my aura and come up to us on their own. So go ahead and bleed it out, kiddo. Don't worry about safety at all." With Daddy Rabbit's reassurance, Xiaomo felt relieved. She told Daddy Rabbit to hold the Lulu beast down, then grabbed the Lulu beast's ears and lifted its head up. She stabbed the pufferfish knife into the Lulu beast's neck. The moment she pulled the knife out, bright red blood gushed out. The Lulu beast started struggling wildly. The livestream viewers were shocked by the scene in front of them. "That's so intense. Who can handle this?" The junior student from Emperor's Sect, after eating the black cloud flame dragon bug as food, actually set her sights on the dirty Lulu beast now. But is this thing even edible? All the livestream viewers were confused about this. The next second, something even more shocking happened. Several administrators from Emperor Sect University entered the livestream. Seeing how swiftly and skillfully Xiaomo handled the Lulu beast, they could only sigh in resignation. "Student again, which area of planet Belu are you stranded in? Even the elite search vanguard can't find you." Right now, after Xiaomo cut up all the parts of the Lulu beast, she put them all into a big pot to make braised meat. The Lulu beast's structure is almost identical to a pig's. If you have to point out a difference, it's that the dissected Lulu beast has a lot of green and black spots inside its body, and only she can see these spots. Even Daddy Rabbit, the Abyss Overlord, can't. After Xiaomo sorted out the braising spice recipe, she threw them into the pot one by one. Daddy Rabbit looked a little confused watching this. "Are we actually going to eat these weird things?" Seeing this scene, the livestream viewers were also horrified. "There are several weirdly colored poisons in that pot. You'll die if you eat that. Some doctors stop her quick." They thought Xiaomo was being way too reckless. But Xiaomo wasn't being reckless at all. The weird things she threw into the pot weren't anything else. They were scallions, ginger, and cooking wine. They're specifically used to get rid of the Lulu beast's fishy smell. As time passed minute by minute, the aroma of the braising spices was released as they heated up. Smelling this aroma, Daddy Rabbit was drooling like a waterfall. The livestream viewers were also going crazy. This smell. This scent is even stronger and more lingering than last time. The breeze carries the fragrance further and further away. Outside, a group of men in black combat uniforms were drawn in by the scent. One of the men sniffed and asked, "What's that smell?" "It smells so good." The deep eyes of the leading man in the team suddenly lit up. This scent can ease the restlessness caused by mental riots. Even the bloodthirsty urge to destroy has lessened a lot. Its calming effect is even better than amethyst. He thought for a few seconds and said, "Let's go. Let's go check it out." Meanwhile, Xiaomo, after finishing cooking the marinade, put the blanched ingredients into the big pot and started braising them. Then she washed and diced the potatoes Rabbit Dad found, tossed them into the adjacent pot, and started cooking rice. "We'll take this as staple food if we run out of others." Seeing her throw another big lump into the pot, the viewers in the live stream started spamming bullet comments again. "No way, even a dirt ball goes into the pot? That's so wild. Wait, is this thing even edible?" Everyone in the live stream was confused about this. Xiaomo was sitting aside weaving a backpack with vines when her peripheral vision caught a furry paw sneaking toward the braising pot. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Dad, it's not done yet. Don't lift the lid." "Trying to sneak a bite, huh?" Caught red-handed, Rabbit Dad awkwardly pulled his paw back. "How come it's not done yet? It smells this good and still not ready?" Seeing Xiaomo staring at him without saying a word, Rabbit Dad scratched his ear tiredly. Fine. I give up, okay? If you say it's not done, it's not done. I won't sneak a bite, happy? Shamo felt like she had won a complete victory and looked away happily. She was just about to get back to her work when a shadow suddenly fell over her. Rabbit Dad stood in front of her and shouted sharply, "Come out right now!" Shamo was startled. She was just about to lean out to see what was going on when she heard rustling sounds. Immediately after, a cold male voice called, "Shamo, I'm Rabbit Dad." Before she could react, Shamo poked her head out from behind him, her gaze fixed on the woods ahead. There was a pair of dark, cold eyes there. After locking eyes with her for a moment, they looked away without hesitation. Rabbit Dad bared his teeth and let out a threatening, warning growl. Shamo stepped out from behind him. "I'm Shamo. May I ask who you are?" The man's dark phoenix eyes sized Shamo up. Shamo looked at the little golden dragon lying on his shoulder and opened her mouth in shock. What on earth is happening? The golden dragon from Chinese legends actually exists? The man ignored Xiaomo's stunned expression. He walked straight past Xiaomo and Rabbit Dad and walked up to the braising pot under the confused gazes of the human and the rabbit. Seeing that their boss didn't want to handle formalities, Chin-che stepped forward. "Hello, classmate Chan. I'm Chin-che. These are our teammates. We were entrusted by the Imperial Comprehensive University and came here specifically to find you." Shamo picked up a key piece of information from his words. The original owner of this body was a student at the Imperial Comprehensive University. If her judgment is correct, the group that left on the spaceship that day were her classmates and teachers. Then the question is, why would a student be abandoned by her teachers and classmates? And why are soldiers being sent to find her now? In response to Shamo's question, Chincha couldn't give an answer. He looked apologetic and said, "I'm very sorry. Classmate Jian, we have no idea why you ended up stranded on White Deer Star. Our only mission is to find you. If you want to know the specific details of how you ended up stranded here, you'll need to return to the Imperial Capital Star and ask the accompanying instructors and professors about it." Before Xiamo could say she would go back, the previously quiet Rabbit Dad blew up. He reached out his paw and pulled Xiamo into his arms. "She's not going back. She's my kid. The Abyss is her home. That stupid Imperial Capital Star is out of the question." Hearing this, Lu Jingshu, who was standing in front of the braising pot, curled his lips slightly. He looked sharply at Rabbit Dad and said, "Adonis, you should know about reproductive isolation. Educate yourself on that first. Even if a rabbit has broken through that legendary power level, it can't father a human little girl." Shamo quickly calmed the big fluffy rabbit that was all puffed up with anger. "Rabbit Dad, calm down. Let's eat first, okay?" "No way, Rabbit Dad is so angry right now he wants to kill Lu Jingshu. He's not those mindless low-level creatures. How could he not know about reproductive isolation? But so what? The kid is his? Whoever tries to trick his kid into leaving, he'll kill them." Faced with Adonis's tough attitude, Lu Jingshu smiled nonchalantly. "It doesn't matter if you don't agree. We humans aren't like your orc or zerg races, who can resist all radiation and erosion of harmful substances. Xiaomo is a human who hasn't practiced body-strengthening technique. If she stays on White Deer Star, she won't live long." As soon as Lu Jingshu said this, the puffed-up Rabbit Dad finally calmed down. He stared blankly at Lu Jingshu for a long while, then hugged Xiaomo tightly and started wailing loudly. "Oh no, Daddy can't bear to let you go. What do I do?" The atmosphere at the scene instantly froze. No one expected that the Abyss Overlord who once turned the entire empire upside down, Adonis, would ever wail like this one day. Xiamo patted Rabbit Dad's back gently to comfort him. "Dad, are you saying for sure that I'll die if I stay? These days I've been on White Deer Star. I haven't felt any problems with my body at all." Rabbit Dad sobbed and explained, "You won't die now, but it won't be good later. I've seen humans eroded by radiation. Their whole body rots and flesh falls off." Hearing this, Xiamo was instantly terrified. At this moment, Lu Jingshu said, "So you have to come back with us. Your life has just barely started. You have so much good time ahead of you." "What do you say?" "Miss Jean, let me introduce myself. I'm Lu Jingshu." Xiamo thought for a moment and asked, "Hello, Mr. Lu. Can I ask you a question?" Lu Jingshu said with a smile, "I'd be more than happy to answer your question, Miss Jian." The surrounding team members saw this scene, and their expressions were shocked and weird. When has our boss ever spoken in such a gentle tone? Is he going crazy? Their boss, as an SSS-level powerhouse of the Empire, has been fighting on the battlefield for a long time. The radiation infection and harmful substance erosion he suffered are worse than anyone else's. Naturally, he developed a genetic disease. Headaches, insomnia, and irritability have plagued him for a long time. His mental sea is constantly in a turbulent state, which he needs to suppress with incredible willpower. That's why his mood has never been good. The question Xiaomo asked Lu Jingshu was very simple. It was to ask him to help contact the people in charge of this student trip from the Imperial University. She wanted to know why the original owner was seriously injured and abandoned. Since I've taken over the original owner's body, I have to figure out what happened for her, Lu Jingshu said with a smile. I'd be happy to help you, Miss Jean. But I have to remind you of one thing, Miss Jean. It takes a whole month to travel from White Deer Star to Imperial Capital Star. Your classmates and teachers are still on their way back right now. The only people I can contact are the staff at the Imperial University. What he meant was, he can't get the detailed information about what happened from the Imperial University right now. Xiaomo understood his implied meaning. She was silent for 2 seconds, then asked again, then when can I go back? Rabbit Dad's paws holding her tightened a little. Lu Jingshu replied, there is no new port on Bailu Planet, that's the reply. You need to go to Heavy Weapon Planet with us first before returning to the Imperial Capital. Xiaomo asked if there are many spaceships bound for Imperial Capital Planet. Lu Jingshu replied that the service runs once a month. The ship for this month just left 2 days ago, as usual. You have to wait until the 25th of next month to catch a ship back. Xiaomo suddenly had no desire to speak. Daddy Rabbit, on the other hand, asked happily, so that means I'm staying... Can't go back right now. Lu Jingshu frowned slightly. Not being able to go back doesn't mean she has to stay on Bailu Planet. Adonis, I hope you understand. Miss Jian is a human. Returning to human society is the right path for her. Xiaomo thought Daddy Rabbit would blow up again. But unexpectedly, Daddy Rabbit just responded calmly with an "oh" this time. Then he asked Xiaomo excitedly, Cub, is the food ready to eat? Xiaomo looked completely shocked. Lu Jingshu, who had been ready to see the Abyss Overlord make a fool of himself again. They and the audience in the live stream were also full of confusion. Daddy Rabbit, why are you so calm? Crying would fit your image as the Abyss Overlord way better. Calm and unflustered. All he can think about right now is the food in the milk pot. Just then, the little golden dragon on Lu Jingshu's shoulder had already climbed onto the lid of the milk pot, rolling around to inhale the delicious scent. Besides the golden dragon, Xiaomo also spotted a cute, chubby big white bear, a handsome white wolf, a red fox, and many others. Looking at these creatures that appeared out of nowhere, Xiaomo was stunned for a second. Then she turned to look at Qinche and the others. Just as she expected, the expressions on these people's faces were exactly the same as the creatures in front of the milk pot. Seeing this scene, she had a rough idea of where these creatures came from. This must be what Daddy Rabbit mentioned. The mental mimic that humans possess. It can take the form of an animal, or even an insect or a plant. Xiaomo was a little curious if her own body had a mental mimic too. The thought had just popped up in her mind. When she heard a soft, delicate meow, she saw a little fluffy white kitten with beautiful blue eyes lying on her shoulder right now, tilting its head and looking at her. Xiaomo meowed happily at the little kitten. The kitten's eyes suddenly widened. Then it wrapped its little paws around Xiaomo's face. Its tail wagged happily. Its meows were soft and sweet. It almost melted the hearts of everyone present. I can't take it anymore. Chen Xiong, the owner of the big white bear, saw this scene and couldn't hold back anymore. He bent over and covered his nose that was bleeding with his hand. He wailed while Lu Jingshu raised his eyebrow slightly. He was just about to speak when his mimic, the little golden dragon, flew over to wrap itself around the little kitten and rubbed against it madly. Everyone present saw this, and their faces froze. The atmosphere fell into awkwardness once again. Finally, Qinche spoke up to break the deadlock. Miss Jian, why did you separate from the main team and stay with Adonis? Back when Qinche said they were entrusted by the Imperial sect to come find her, Xiaomo knew she couldn't avoid some questions. Luckily, she already had a plan for this. She put on a cold face, looked straight at Qinche and said, that's a good question. I also want to know why I was badly injured and left here. If Daddy Rabbit hadn't found me and saved me, I would have been a corpse long ago. As soon as she said this, the audience in the live stream and people like Qinche were all stunned. My cub fell off the mountain in District 8. Daddy Rabbit cut in angrily. I saw her rolling down like a ball. She hit the rocks and got injured all over her body. The strong smell of blood on her made me, a rabbit, go crazy. Even her vital signs were so faint that they were barely detectable. When Daddy Rabbit found the cub, her vital signs were already gone. At that time, he was drowned in the grief of losing his own cub. He was disoriented and mistook Shamo for his own cub. He tried every possible way but still couldn't save the cub. He wanted to take the cub back to the shore and gave her a simple cleaning. But unexpectedly, halfway through, the cub's chest suddenly started rising and falling. The first time the cub saw him after waking up, she looked surprised and shocked. But there was none of the wariness that humans usually have when they see him, or the urge to run away as far as possible. At that moment, he told himself, this was his cub. He originally planned to take the cub back to the shore and live with her there. But then Lu Jingsu and the others showed up and pointed out who she was. The cub is human, it's not suitable for her. To be exposed to radiation for a long time, that's a fact. He's not an unreasonable and selfish person, so he wouldn't act on his selfish desire to stay with the cub and ignore her safety to stop her from going back. Just then, Daddy Rabbit cleared his throat softly. How on earth did my cub fall off the mountain? And why was she covered in injuries? I need an answer to all these questions. He paused for a moment before continuing to speak. That lousy whatever Earth sect must give my cub justice. Otherwise, I don't mind gathering all the beast clans and turn the entire empire upside down again. Daddy Rabbit's words echoed in everyone's ears. Whether it was Lu Jingqiu or the audience in the live stream, the same thought popped up in their minds at the same time. That unreasonable Abyss Overlord is going to pull his rogue tricks again. The last time the Abyss Overlord led the beast clans to wreak havoc in the empire, the economic loss caused was equal to the empire's total fiscal revenue for 2 whole years. If he makes trouble again this time, no one can even imagine the consequences. Contact Marshal Lu for me right now. The Secretary General of the Empire didn't hesitate at all, and was ready to contact Lu Jingqiu. But unexpectedly, Xiaomo's voice came from the live stream. Sorry, everyone. Daddy Rabbit was just joking with you. I wasn't joking. Before he could finish the word, Daddy Rabbit met Xiaomo's glare and changed his words bitterly. Fine, I won't gather the beast clans to make trouble in the Empire. His cub is perfect in every way. The only flaw is that she's too soft-hearted. But what can he do? This is his own cub. He can only spoil her, right? He sighed and glared at Lu Jingqiu and the others. He said angrily, Don't think this is over just like that. I'll go make trouble on my own. Shama didn't have the heart to embarrass Daddy Rabbit again. After all, he was saying those harsh words for her sake. She could only chime in, Don't blame Daddy Rabbit. He's doing this for me. I also need justice. I need to know the whole story of what happened. To tell you the truth, after Daddy Rabbit saved me and I woke up, I found that I've lost a lot of my memories. Shamo didn't have the original owner's memories. She was worried that after returning to human society, she wouldn't be able to hide the fact that she lacks common knowledge. In that case, it was better to bring it up herself first. Amnesia? Lu Jingqiu looked at her calmly. But that was just his appearance. The little golden dragon on his shoulder had already stuffed its tail into its mouth in shock. It bit down tight. I really did lose my memory. Shama nodded. Lu Jingqiu turned to the people in his troop and said, Arrange a detailed medical checkup for her when we get back. After saying that, he took 2 tubes of advanced repair fluid from his space buckle and handed them to Xiaomo. Here. This can heal most of your injuries. Xiaomo waved her hand to refuse. I can't take this. Lu Jingqiu chuckled softly. Your health is more important. Just use it, don't worry. Repair fluid isn't anything valuable anyway. The audience in the live stream were almost mad with jealousy. The value of advanced repair fluid simply can't be measured by money. This kind of potion isn't sold on the market at all. It's a special supply for the military. I'm so jealous of the streamer. What good deeds has she done to deserve this? She not only has the protection of the Abyss Overlord, but also gets the cold and unapproachable Marshal Lu to treat her gently. Shama had no idea what the audience in the live stream were thinking. She was silent for a moment. Still didn't answer. Lu Jingqiu's repair solution. Sorry, I can't take this. I'm completely broke right now, and I have no valuables to exchange with you. Hearing this, Lu Jingqiu had a faint smile creeping into his eyes. If Miss Jean insists on making an exchange, before accepting the repair solution, why not prepare 3 meals a day for us? The Empire, many years ago, suffered from years of constant wars, which caused a fault in its culture and food heritage. Now all Imperial citizens live on nutrient solutions. Natural food is extremely scarce, and its price is prohibitively high. Us soldiers can't afford such luxury. It will be a month before Miss Jean returns to Imperial Capital Star. You can work as a cook in the troops during this period. It would be great if you could improve our meals. This tube of repair solution counts as your payment. What do you think, Miss Jean? Since he put it that way, Xiaoma couldn't bring herself to refuse. She put away the repair solution and thanked him. I will do my best this month. I hope everyone will take care of me. Thank you in advance, Miss Jian. Lu Jingshu pulled back his fingertips that had just brushed her palm and rubbed them discreetly. Just then, Chen Xiong, owner of the Big White Bear, asked Miss Jian if the food in the pot was ready to eat. Chincha was also salivating badly from hunger. Miss Jean, what on earth are you cooking? It smells so good, I'm starving. I just want to ask if it's ready to eat. Everyone stared at the marinating pot, not even daring to blink. They had never seen any food with such a strong and rich fragrance. Xiaomo explained, this is marinated food. The raw material is Lulusho meat. Lu Jingshu raised an eyebrow at this. The Empire has meat products, and there are even meat-flavored nutrient solutions. But no one actually eats Lulusho. It's too smelly and dirty, and doesn't look very appealing either. Everyone else looked absolutely disgusted when they heard this. Even processed Lulusho still has a hard-to-remove fishy stench. Their excitement instantly faded by more than half. Papa Rabbit is a super-intelligent, almost sentient, steel-toothed rabbit. He could tell Chin-che and the others were skeptical. So he said on purpose, speaking from my experience of suffering these past few days, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't eat it, seriously, don't. This meat smells good, but it tastes really terrible. Papa Rabbit thought to himself, once I get rid of these annoying little human brats, I can have all the marinated food my kid made to myself. It's fine, I don't mind if it tastes bad. Lu Jingshu is a smart man. After all, Adonis's past exploits are far too legendary. So legendary that he doesn't believe a single word this rabbit says. How can you not mind? Papa Rabbit looked at Lu Jingshu in disbelief. This was totally not what he expected. Sure enough, except for his kid, there isn't a single likable human in the world. Lu Jingshu saw the anger in his eyes, but paid no attention and looked away at Xiaomo. Just then, Xiaomo lifted the pot lid. Thick white steam and rich fragrant aroma hit them right in the face. She took out a dagger and poked a pig ear out of the pot. The impurity-removed pig ear, after being marinated on high heat then slowly simmered, turned from its original pale pink color to a beautiful reddish brown, fully soaked in the red marinade. Even before cutting it open, Xiaomo could already imagine how good it would taste. When Chincha saw the fragrant, shiny reddish-brown pig ear, he quickly took a small folding table out of his space buckle to make it easier for Xiaomo to cut the meat. After Xiaomo arranged the meat on a plate, she said, "Come on, everyone, have a taste. We don't have bowls or chopsticks, so just poke pieces with your daggers to eat." Lu Jingshu took out his triangular bayonet and poked a piece of pig ear meat. Anyone who has eaten pig ear knows this part is soft and chewy with a nice bounce and has a great texture. It's the perfect dish to go with drinks. But it wasn't very friendly for Lu Jingshu and the others, because they were used to eating liquid food mainly consisting of nutrient solutions. Their teeth had somewhat degenerated as a result. The cartilage in the pig ear would take them quite a while to chew through. Papa Rabbit, on the other hand, had no such problem. He even eats ore, so he has great teeth and a good appetite. Xiaomo was very partial to him. Lu Jingshu and the others shared one plate of pig ear, while Papa Rabbit got an entire pig ear all to himself. He didn't need a plate or a dagger either. He poked the pig ear with his claw and ate it in big bites. His fluffy face was full of pure enjoyment. The audience in the live stream saw this scene and started swallowing saliva like crazy. Why do I think this Lulusho tastes even better than the fried rice last time? Wait, so Lulusho is this fragrant? And it looks this good? All the meat I remember is fishy and stinky. I never thought meat could smell this good. The president watched the live stream and said to his secretary beside him, "Notify Professor Modus and his team to watch the replay. Identify all the ingredients in the pot besides the meat." He thought to himself, if the fishy smell of animal meat can be perfectly removed, then in the future, Imperial citizens will have another option in their diet. It can not only satisfy their appetite for good food, but also drive the development of a whole industrial chain. The secretary immediately responded, "Yes, sir." But when he was about to call Professor Modus, he suddenly remembered something. "Mr. President, why don't you contact the marshal directly and ask Miss Jian?" The president explained, We first confirm those ingredients are harmless. Then it won't be too late to talk to Miss Jean about the patent. The secretary immediately understood. I see. Don't worry, I will supervise Professor Modus. After receiving the secretary's call, Professor Modus immediately went to the live stream to find the replay, only to be shocked to find that this live stream has no replay function at all. After receiving the secretary's report, the president was silent for 2 seconds. Where did Adonis get this black technology device to run this live stream? It doesn't even have history records or replay function. The president thought for a moment before saying, forget it then. I'll contact Xiaojin directly. Then Lu Jingshu received a call from the imperial president, who was also his older brother Lu Jingnian. Lu Jingshu at this moment was eating lulushu meat with a look of pure enjoyment. When he suddenly received a private communication call from his brother Lu Jingnian, he answered it. Lu Jingnian's holographic image appeared on the optical brain screen. Lu Jingshu swallowed the food in his mouth before asking, Brother, how's your health lately? A smile appeared on Lu Jingnian's handsome face. I'm fine, how about you? Lu Jingsu could easily hear the concern hidden under his brother's calm words. He smiled and said he was fine. Previously, whenever his genetic disorder relapsed, his mental sea would experience massive turbulence, which required him to suppress it with amazing willpower. But this time the situation was different. His violently churning mental sea was calmed down at an extremely fast speed by the charm of the delicious food. Even the pain from the genetic disorder flare-up had lessened a lot. The food Xiaomo cooks has a kind of magical power. He wasn't the only one who felt this way. Even Qinqi and the others felt it too. If his guess is correct, all people in the empire suffering from genetic disorders will be in luck. Lu Jingshu briefly told his brother about his feelings and physical condition. Then he asked, Did you call me for something, brother? Speaking of this, Lu Jingnian thought of Xiaomo's live stream again. He glanced at Papa Rabbit, who was holding a trotter with grease all over his face, and felt a complicated mix of emotions. Ever since Lu Jingnian's holographic image appeared, Xiaomo had perked up her ears and was secretly listening in. Very quickly, she picked up from Lu Jingnian's words the information that she was running a live stream. Xiaomo's heart skipped a beat immediately. Oh no, something went wrong. Xiaomo never expected that the system would pull such a trick on her and start an interstellar live stream without her knowledge. Xiaomo was panicking like crazy and started calling out frantically in her mind. The system got no response at all as usual. She thought it over and over and found she simply couldn't explain the live stream thing clearly. Xiaomo felt a little frustrated and a little desperate too. Daddy Rabbit sensed the change in her aura and also noticed her mental mimic state. The little kitten was so anxious that it paced around in circles. Putting together what he heard Lu Jingnian say just now, Daddy Rabbit immediately guessed the reason for Xiaomo's panic. At this moment, he was extremely grateful that he had traveled to Purple Cloud Star back then, met an Anodon person, and gave him an energy stone. To express his gratitude, that Anodon person gave him a stealth-enabled live stream device in return. Even in places without the new network, it can catch signals to stream live. Though Daddy Rabbit had no idea what live streaming was, he was sure it had something to do with his cub. He controlled his mental power and took out the live stream device quietly, then started the live stream. Right after that, he patted Xiaomo's hand reassuringly. Don't panic, Daddy's got you. He spoke calmly to Lu Jingshu. This live stream device is a product from 100 years ago. It doesn't have those functions you mentioned at all. He stretched out his paw and grabbed at the empty air next to Xiaomo, then revealed the fingernail-sized live stream device in his paw. To show Lu Jingshu and the others, this thing has sensory and taste experience functions, but it has no history record or playback functions at all. Qinchu was a little surprised. You are acquainted with Master Jacob? The viewers in the live stream also blew up. Master Jacob is the only person among the Baladin people who has ever won the title of Mecha Master. The God series mechas he made, 8 of them have found their destined owners, and the remaining 4 are still displayed in the Mecha Museum on Purple Cloud Star. No one knows who the next lucky one will be. Just then, Daddy Rabbit took a bite of his roasted hoof. He munched and said, Of course I know him, but I haven't seen him for many years. I even named that little brat. What the hell, little brat? Master Jacob is 167 years old this year. Qincho wanted to refute, but when he thought of Adonis's age, he felt powerless again. In front of this abyss overlord, Master Jacob is indeed a little brat. Just then, Lu Jingshu's voice suddenly sounded. Miss Jean, let's make a deal. The Empire wants to know the method you use to get rid of the stench on Lulu Beast Planet. Xiaomo didn't expect the Empire to have such good taste. The marinade that can marinate everything is indeed a great product. She now has a way to get her first capital. Sure. Xiaomo looked around the surroundings and asked confusedly, "Do we talk about it right now?" Lu Jingshu waved his hand. "No need. This is not a good place to discuss business. We'll talk when we get back to Zuxing. Remember to bring me along." Daddy Rabbit cut in impatiently. He stared at Lu Jingshu and said, "I will never leave my cub. Don't even think about leaving me behind." Lu Jingshu smiled faintly and hummed in agreement. With Xiaomo watching over him, the Abyss Overlord won't cause any trouble, no need to worry. Besides, the return of the Abyss Overlord to human society is a good thing for the Empire. After the matter was settled, the group went back to eating, drinking, and chatting. The dozens of kilos of Lulu Beast looked like a lot, but it wasn't enough for them at all. After washing the pots and putting them back into the space, Lu Jingshu waved his hand. "Miss Jian, let's go. Leave earlier. Arrive earlier. They are currently in District 13. It's almost over 300 kilometers away from District 8 where the warship is docked. Fortunately, each of their space buckles has a flying motorcycle inside. This vehicle can reach a speed of over 800 kilometers per hour. Lu Jingshu sat on the motorcycle chickly. He smiled and said, "Miss Jian, would you like to ride with me?" Xiaoma nodded and hummed in agreement, then consciously sat on the back seat. Daddy Rabbit stared at Chinche and the others' motorcycles and took a look, then pointed at a blonde man named Lu Yi and said, "You take me. Any problem?" Lu Yi nodded happily. "No problem at all." Daddy Rabbit hummed coldly and aloofly, then got on the bike with his pair of fluffy ears. Then at Lu Jingyu's order, 16 flying motorcycles lifted off with a whoosh. They arrived at the destination in just a few minutes. The captain is one of the team members, Chen Xiong. He jumped off the bike, turned on the main system connected to the warship. After entering the command, a slanted hatch extended out and lowered to the ground. Xiaomo was very curious about these novel gadgets. Interstellar warship. This sci-fi look is so freaking cool. Lu Jingshu said with a smile. "Welcome, Miss Jian and Adonis, to come with us to the heavy weapon planet. Now come aboard with us for a physical checkup." Xiaomo and Daddy Rabbit answered and followed along. The moment they stepped on the stairs leading into the airship, Kincha reminded, "Miss Jian, your live stream device is low on power." It shut down automatically. Hearing this, Xiaomo was stunned for a second again. After she realized it, she thanked him quickly. She grabbed the live stream device floating beside her. She complained endlessly in her heart. Stupid system. It doesn't even say a word when starting or stopping the stream. She got through safely this time. But what about next time? Xiaomo and Daddy Rabbit came to the medical bay and had a physical checkup. They found that apart from being a little weak, there were no other problems. Then, led by Lu Jingshu, the girl and the rabbit went back to the lounge assigned to them. Lu Jingshu introduced to them, "There are 4 buttons in red, yellow, blue, and black on the wall. The red button is for the bed. Press it, and the bed hidden in the cabin wall will pop out. The yellow one is for the wardrobe. The blue one is for tables and chairs. As for the black one, it's the virtual background converter." Lu Jingshu smiled before continuing. "This was invented to create a comfortable resting environment for the soldiers. There are 18 modes in total to choose from, including Universe, Starry Sky, Fairyland, Fairy Tale, and other modes. Miss Jean can choose any mode you like as the room background." Xiaomo pressed the black button curiously. The lounge instantly turned into a vast cosmic starry sky. The sparkling starlight on it was so beautiful that it was dazzling. Seeing this, Daddy Rabbit nudged Lu Jingshu with his paw. "All right, we should go now. Let the cub have a good rest." Hearing this, Lu Jingshu retreated with Daddy Rabbit. Soon the spaceship arrived at the station of the 1st Legion of the Expedition Vanguard. Just then, a crisp and rhythmic knock on the door sounded. After Xiaomo opened the door, the first thing she saw was Daddy Rabbit's fluffy face, and Lu Jingshu, who was blocked behind him. "Cub, we've arrived." 5 minutes later, the 2 people and the rabbit came outside the warship. Seeing Xiaomo and Daddy Rabbit, the group greeted them warmly. Daddy Rabbit was in a good mood today. He grabbed at the air with his paw, and a bunch of ginseng fell out of his space. "Come on, 1 big radish per person." Seeing Daddy Rabbit take out a bunch of human-shaped ginseng all at once, the expressions on Lu Jingshu and the others' faces cracked instantly. The Imperial Academy of Sciences has been working its ass off these years, and only managed to grow a few sparse ginseng. How come Adonis just takes out a whole basket with a casual move? Chincha was breathing heavily. His face flushed. He said excitedly, "Boss, I think I'm having hallucinations." "It's not a hallucination, I see it too." Lu Jingshu's voice was a little unsteady. He stared for a long time before looking away. He asked Xiamo, "Miss Zhang, do you think we should take these?" Xiamo was stunned for a moment. "You can decide for yourselves." Lu Jingshu hummed in response. Lu Jingxiong le sheng turned to Papa Rabbit and said, "Adonis, do you know what ginseng means to the Empire?" Hearing that, Papa Rabbit grabbed a ginseng with a look of disgust and thrust it into Lu Jingshu's arms. "All of you with the surname Lu are great in every way. You're just too dawdling and hesitant. Aren't these just a few big radishes? I grew a whole bunch of them in the abyss." As he spoke, he openly took the remaining ginseng and thrust them one by one into the arms of Chinche and the others. Then he put his arm around Xiaomo's shoulder and said, "He still has loads of these big radishes and their seeds. He'll grow a whole pile of them for her later." Xiamo looked at the heroic Papa Rabbit. It dawned on her instantly. Her Papa Rabbit is a bunny who has fully mastered farming skills. Then she thought of the pile of fruit tree and flower seeds from Earth, stored in the system warehouse. A vague plan popped up in her mind. "Dad, can you grow anything and make it survive?" "I wouldn't say all of them, but at least most of them can live." Papa Rabbit was quite proud when talking about his skills. Caught off guard, Lu Jingshu, who had been stuffed with a ginseng, was a little dazed. After hearing Papa Rabbit's smug words, he hurriedly thanked him and put the ginseng into his space portal like it was a precious treasure. Seeing that the gifts he gave were valued, Papa Rabbit's already good mood got even better. He nodded in satisfaction and said, "That's more like it. Remember to look out for my kid more in the future. Don't let her get bullied by some blind humans." "Don't worry, we will." Lu Jingshu agreed readily. Then he looked at Xiamo and smiled. "Miss Jean, you are very lucky. Lucky that you ended up on Bailu Star for unknown reasons, and were found by Adonis, and taken under his protection. You are right. I am very lucky." Shima nodded in full agreement. If it weren't for Papa Rabbit, she would never have survived. Papa Rabbit smiled. "I'm pretty lucky too. I saved my little kid. If Xiamo hadn't shown up and woken him up from his deranged state of mind, he would have kept drowning in the grief of losing his child, and then lost himself completely." After the group chatted for a while, they arrived at the military base on Juwu 7 Star. Shima had just gotten off the fighter jet when she was blinded by the Expedition Army's military base, an incredibly huge military fortress, shining brightly just like a golden mountain. All the personnel at the station raised their hands in salute and greeted Lu Jingshu and the others. It was only then that Xiamo learned Lu Jingshu was the marshal of the Expedition Army. Her mind was in utter turmoil. The marshal is an absolute perfect figure, a genuine top big shot. I'm just an ordinary civilian. What good have I done to deserve this? A big shot coming to find me in person. Xiamo spoke with a tangled expression. "Marshal Lu, a big shot like you must be swamped with work every day. How did you have time to go to Bailu Star in person?" Lu Jingshu heard her question, turned to look at her, chuckled and said, "Is Miss Jean scared by my identity?" Shama shook her head awkwardly. "No, I just can't figure it out a little." Lu Jingshu raised his hand to cover his nose, as if he couldn't hold back a smile. "You don't have to overthink it, Miss Jian. I just ran into you by coincidence." Xiamo didn't actually believe that, but she felt her scalp tingle under Lu Jingshu's gaze. She was totally cowed and didn't dare to press for the truth. So she just let out a natural-sounding, "Oh." She followed behind Lu Jingshu to visit the military base. Half an hour later, she was so hungry she couldn't walk anymore. Xiamo asked a little embarrassedly, "Are you guys hungry?" Lu Jingshu heard her and looked at her in confusion and spoke. "We already drank nutrient solution. Didn't you drink yours?" Papa Rabbit, who eats ginseng as snacks, spoke up impatiently. "I didn't drink that crap, it tastes terrible. I gnawed on 2 big radishes. Kid, are you hungry?" Xiamo rubbed her stomach, spoke with a bitter look on her face. "I'm so hungry right now. The nutrient solution Marshal Lu gave me tastes so bad. I really couldn't force myself to drink it." As soon as he heard Xiamo say the nutrient solution tasted bad, Chincha stepped forward awkwardly and explained to Xiamo, "Sorry. Miss Jian, this sweet-flavored nutrient solution is one of the most popular flavors among imperial women. I thought you would like it too. I'm really sorry. If we had known earlier, we would have prepared other food." Papa Rabbit cut him off. "No need to have known earlier. Or known later. Kid, let's go catch zergs to eat. I can sense there are a lot of zergs on this planet." And there are all sizes, small, medium, and large. How about we eat to our heart's content today? Shema was naturally willing. She cast a questioning look at Lu Jingshu. Marshal Lu, can we go? Catch the bugs? The main reason this planet became a garrison planet is that this planet is a base camp for the Zergs, and the garrison's mission is to eliminate the Zergs. But the Zergs' reproductive ability is too amazing. They can't be eliminated completely at all. They can only guard strictly, and trap the Zergs on this planet, to prevent them from leaving to expand and grow their race. Lu Jingshu heard the conversation between the girl and the rabbit. Asked in confusion, Adonis, did you just say Zergs are edible? Papa Rabbit nodded. Of course they are. The black cloud flame dragon bug my kid made is so delicious. I can eat a whole one by myself. Hearing these words, Chen Xiong looked totally incredulous. Zergs have excessive pollution levels, how can they be eaten? Is the Abyss Overlord not afraid of Zerg poison? Papa Rabbit didn't like hearing that. He glanced at Lu Yi with his red eyes. He mocked, as a high-end orc. I'm indeed not afraid of Zerg poison, but the Zerg meat really isn't poisonous. My kid is the best example. She ate such a big portion, and she didn't get poisoned and die, did she? Then Xiamo also spoke up. I don't know about other Zergs, what their situation is. I've tried the crayfish. It's definitely edible, and it's delicious. Lu Jingshu was a little confused. What kind of creature is this crayfish you're talking about? Can you tell me more about it? Xiamo explained. It's called the black cloud flame dragon bug. That name is too long and hard to call, so I named it crayfish. Lu Yi's eyes went wide. He looked completely disbelieving. How is that possible? Someone actually ate a Zerg and didn't die? Xiamo also noticed that something was wrong with them. So she explained, crayfish are actually edible. Its toxin is stored in the head connected to the body. But the meat on its body really has no poison. Not only is it non-poisonous, the meat is also very tasty. Would you like to try some? I promise you'll want more after you eat it. Lu Jingshu thought that if Zergs were edible, it would be a great thing for the Empire. He weighed the pros and cons in his mind and made a decision. Miss Jian, I'll go catch Zergs with you. So the group walked out of the station and headed towards the wilderness. And then, Xiamo felt like she had arrived in a food paradise. There are so many Zergs here, and each one is bigger than the last. Xiamo's eyes widened in excitement. These aren't bugs at all. They're clearly super big lobsters, king crabs, and so on. And there are also mantises and locusts as big as cars. All of them are delicious food rich in protein. Xiamo pointed ahead excitedly. Dad, I want that crab. Make sure it's alive. Papa Rabbit agreed immediately, looking at the selected green crab. His eyes were full of appetite. Lu Jingshu looked at the size of the green crab, asked in confusion, such a big crab. How are you going to catch it alive? I can grab its legs and drag it back. The dignified Abyss Overlord Papa Rabbit is no pushover. Check out my super strength. Listening to Rabbit Dad's smug words, Chincha twitched the corner of his mouth and reminded Adonis. I have to tell you a fact. This type of Zerg is called the 10-horned beetle. They have a special ability to escape by severing their limbs. Believe it or not, if you try to catch them with your bare hands, they'll immediately sever their legs and run right in front of you. Rabbit Dad was really stumped after hearing that. He's always just killed Zerg directly when dealing with them before. He's never actually caught one alive before, severing limbs to escape. This is really a bit tricky, but he can't do anything about it. These little human brats must have a way. Rabbit Dad waved his paw and put on a very encouraging smile. Then the task of catching this crab alive is all yours. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. Lu Jingshu and Chincha exchanged a look and nodded. The group quickly rushed towards the green crab. Shama didn't even see clearly how they did it. An extremely sticky net was already plastered onto the shell of the green crab that was scuttling sideways. Then Lu Jingshu shouted, "Lift!" The several people, each holding a corner of the net, pulled with all their strength at the same time and hoisted the green crab up. When they returned to the military base, the soldier guarding the base gate was a little surprised. How did the marshal and the others bring a Zerg back? Is it because the Zerg Research Institute on the main ship used up all their research materials again? But even if they really ran out of materials, it's not the marshal's job to go catch the materials, right? Lu Jingshu and his group didn't notice their conversation at all. After returning to their quarters, the group didn't rush to leave. Instead, they asked Xiamo what they should do next. Xiamo pouted, "What else can we do?" Of course, we tie it up and steam it in a pot. Steaming is the cooking method that best brings out the original flavor of crabs. But the problem is, this one is way too big. We don't have a pot big enough to steam it. If we chop it up to make spicy crab, she doesn't have enough seasonings for that either. After voicing her troubles, Lu Jingshu was silent for 2 seconds. Before asking, which tastes better, steamed or spicy? Chincha spoke up first. I want spicy flavor. I want spicy flavor too. Rabbit Dad chimed in right after. He couldn't wait to voice his opinion. Seeing this, Xiaomo asked curiously, have you guys ever eaten spicy food? Chinchi hummed in response, I have. Spicy hot pot. The main ingredients were things like napa cabbage, cucumber, and bean sprouts. It was really tasty and very appetizing. Xiaomo asked, does the base have chili peppers? Lu Jingshu replied, we do. Zerg can't tolerate spiciness. To deal with the Zerg, half of the Empire's affiliated agricultural planets are used to grow chili peppers. The last supply shipment just delivered a batch of chili peppers here. I think that should be enough to meet Miss Jean's needs. Shama bit her lip, but I still don't have a big enough pot. Lu Jingshu waved his hand. That's not a problem either. How big a pot do you need, Miss Jian? I'll have someone modify one right away. Shama was a little surprised. You can do that? Since we can get a modified pot. Let's make both steamed and spicy versions then. Shama handed the pot design she drew to Lu Jingshu. After contacting the maintenance department supervisor, they learned it would take 2 hours to finish. Hearing that, Rabbit Dad looked at Xiaomo worriedly. Little one, we have to wait 2 hours for the pot to be ready. How about you use your small pot to make something to eat first for yourself? Before Xiaomo could say anything, Lu Jingshu nodded in agreement and said, I have an idea. Miss Jan can make something to eat first by herself. We'll go catch a few more Zerg. Shama had no objections and agreed readily. She pointed at the big green crab stuck in the net and reminded, when you go to catch them, don't catch ones this big. Just catch some larvae. Even though they are called larvae, they aren't small at all. They're even bigger than the king crabs from her world. After Lu Jingshu heard that, he turned to look at Qin Che and the others. Be quick and come back soon. Shima was stunned for a moment. Lu Jingshu. Aren't you coming? Lu Jingshu's voice sounded beside her ear. Miss Jian. I'll take you to the resting area now. Shama pursed her lips, but I'm hungry. Besides, I have to cook later. Going back and forth is too much trouble. Let's just wait here. Lu Jingshu smiled faintly. Do you need my help with anything? Rabbit Dad, who was staring at the big green crab drooling, heard that and mocked. You don't even know how to cook. What help could you possibly be? Halfway through his sentence, Rabbit Dad suddenly stopped. He didn't like Lu Jingshu anyway, so he asked on purpose, do you really mean that about helping? Lu Jingshu nodded, yes. I can do whatever you want me to. 5 minutes later, the base soldiers looked on with confused faces as their marshal was busily carrying over a pile of scrap materials, holding a welding torch and other tools, tinkering around to make something that looked like a stove. Then he stepped on a hoverboard and left at lightning speed. Just a few minutes later, he came back carrying a crate of energy stones and a crate of thick wood fiber rope. A few soldiers walked up to Lu Jingshu and asked eagerly, Boss, what are you doing here? Lu Jingshu replied in a gentle tone. Making a stove, it works the same way as a combustion furnace. Xiao Mufeng was confused when he heard that. If I remember correctly, the cafeteria has a full set of tools. Why didn't you just get them from the cafeteria, instead of making them yourself here, running around like crazy? Hearing this, Shama was shocked. The base has a cafeteria? Rabbit Dad also stared sharply at Lu Jingshu. He had the same question as Xiao Mufeng in his mind. Why didn't this Lu kid say that in the first place? Is there something wrong with him? Did he hit his head? Lu Jingshu's hand holding the welding torch froze at that moment. He gave Xiao Mufeng a cold glare. Xiao Mufeng gritted his teeth and held his gaze stubbornly. Xiaomo, who noticed the awkward atmosphere, poked Lu Jingshu's arm with her finger. He immediately looked away from Xiao Mufeng and turned to ask Xiaomo gently, What's wrong? Even his voice was extremely soft. Xiao Mufeng was so weirded out that he got goosebumps all over his body. He looked at Xiaomo, then at Lu Jingshu. The little version of himself in his head was happily doing the hula. Their boss. The iron tree has finally bloomed. There's something going on. He really wanted to tell the other brothers about this and gossip about it together. But there's no rush. He can hold on a little longer. First, see if things are what he thinks they are. But unexpectedly, Lu Jingshu turned around and headed straight for the cafeteria with the girl and the rabbit. Seeing this, Xiao Mufeng subconsciously wanted to follow them. But before he could make a move, Lu Jingshu said without looking back. I have a task for you. Take some people to tie up the stone-horned crustacean crab. Then scrub it clean with a brush. Xiao Mufeng glanced at the big green crab that was wriggling nonstop and reeked of a strong fishy stench. He rolled his eyes. Some iron tree blooming this is. Catching Zerg alive. Even taking her to visit the cafeteria. Is the next step building a bedroom for her directly? Lu Jingshu seemed to sense his inner complaints. He looked back faintly at Xiao Mufeng. Xiao Mufeng's heart skipped a beat. He immediately said seriously, "Don't worry, boss. Before you come back, I promise I'll have people get this stone-horned Zerg scrubbed spotless." Lu Jingshu let out a non-committal hum. Remember, don't use detergent to wash it. Use clean water only. This is going to be eaten. Xiao Mufeng's facial expression instantly cracked when he heard that. He subconsciously wanted to confirm with Lu Jingshu, but when he looked up, Lu Jingshu was already out of sight. Shiamo and Rabbit Dad were led by Lu Jingshu and arrived at the cafeteria. Inside, there were rows of matching golden tables and chairs. Xiamo was so shocked by this aesthetic that she couldn't even complain. She was just about to walk inside when suddenly a loud, rough voice sounded. "Marshall, why did you come to the cafeteria?" Lu Jingshu introduced Xiamo to the head chef. "Miss Jian, this is the head chef of the First Legion, Mr. Tang Zhen. You can just call him Uncle Tang." Hearing this, Xiamo stretched out her hand with a smile to greet him. "Hello, Uncle Tang." "Hello, Miss Jian." Tang Zhen shook hands with Xiamo, then shook the fluffy paw that Rabbit Dad held out. "Have you two eaten yet? Shall I make something for you?" At the mention of food, Rabbit Dad thought of the fried rice Xiamo made for him. "Yeah, get us some staple food, please." Tang Zhen pressed his lips together at that. "We have rice paste and flour paste." Xiamo paused for a second. She never expected that the Empire actually had rice and flour. "But what the hell is rice paste?" she asked with a curious look on her face. "Is it the kind made by grinding rice into pieces and boiling it into a paste?" Tang Zhen nodded. "Yes, that's exactly what it tastes like. It's a little bland, but it tastes better than nutrient solution. Would you two like to try some?" The three of them nodded, found a seat and sat down. Tang Zhen turned and walked into the back kitchen. He came back with a tray in less than 2 minutes. Xiaoma scooped 2 bowls of rice paste and set them in front of Rabbit Dad and Lu Jingshu, respectively. Then she scooped a spoonful for herself and took a sip. Then she frowned. What a waste of good ingredients. The flour is top quality, and the rice is great too. But it's such a shame that the chef's skills aren't up to par. So all this good rice and flour is totally wasted. Hearing this, Rabbit Dad mumbled, "Your cooking skills suck. They're not even as good as the random stuff my kid makes." Lu Jingshu finished the rice paste in his bowl, took a spoonful of flour paste and said, "Same as usual. It's good." Rabbit Dad looked at Lu Jingshu in surprise. "This is good?" "The rice paste has no flavor at all, and the texture is terrible too. Don't even get me started on the flour paste. Some parts are even raw." Listening to Rabbit Dad's words, Tang Zhen's face darkened at a speed visible to the naked eye. Xiaoma was so anxious that she almost jumped. She tugged hard at Rabbit Dad's fur, signaling him to shut up right now and stop talking. But Rabbit Dad didn't listen at all. He even held her hand down with his paw and rambled on, criticizing the staple food Tang Zhen brought over, completely and thoroughly. Only then did he turn to Xiamo and ask, "Baby, why did you pull my fur just now?" Xiamo sighed. "You've totally offended him. And you're asking me what's wrong?" At this moment, Tang Zhen looked at Rabbit Dad and said, "Mr. Adonis, from what you said, you seem to know a lot about cooking. Could you teach me some skills?" Rabbit Dad was willing to teach. The problem was he only knew how to eat, not cook. So he pointed his fluffy paw at Xiamo and said, "Kid Tang, my kid is the one who knows how to cook. Not me. If you want to learn, you have to ask her." Tang Zhen was a little surprised. "Miss Jean actually knows how to cook? If that's the case, I hope you can give this old Tang some advice, Miss Jean." Xiamo stood up when she heard that and said, "Let me check the ingredients first." She followed Tang Zhen into the kitchen. Neatly arranged ingredients were placed inside. There were not only staple foods like rice and flour, but also vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, and so on. Xiamo picked up a grain of rice with her fingers, put it in her mouth and chewed it. Such good rice. Ground and boiled into paste. It's such a waste. She took a rice cooker out of her system warehouse and cooked a pot of rice. Seeing this, Tang Zhen asked confusedly, "Why didn't you grind the rice before putting it in the pot to cook?" "I'm cooking rice, not paste. Why would I grind it?" Xiaomo explained with a shocked look on her face. Uncle Tang, rice paste is only suitable for old people who have no teeth. Adults eat cooked rice, of course. If you want a change of taste, you can also eat congee. Shall I cook a pot of congee for you? Tang Zhen frowned when he heard this. Congee sounds okay, but he couldn't imagine what cooked rice looked like. After Xiaomo finished cooking the rice, she started to pick ingredients. She took 3 vegetarian dishes, potatoes, cucumbers, and water spinach. Then she picked a fish similar to mandarin fish. After processing the fish, she rubbed some seasonings onto the cut fish. Then she held the fish tail and shook it gently with skill. The shredded parts on the fish bloomed like a flower right away, with shreds standing up like thorns. She coated it with starch and put the shaped fish into the oil to fry immediately. Tang Zhen and the others watched and asked curiously, "What are you doing now?" Xiaomo answered, frying to set the shape. While making the squirrel fish, she also instructed them to shred the potatoes, smash the cucumbers, and set them aside for later use. Tang Zhen was happy to help. He only had doubts about the soil balls. Little Miss Jian, let me tell you, soil balls are not edible. They are poisonous. Xiaomo replied. You can just call me Xiaomo. Potatoes are indeed poisonous, but only when their skin turns green or they sprout. That's when they produce toxins. The soil balls I took out are not poisonous. You can eat them without worry. After listening to Xiaomo's words, Tang Zhen washed and peeled the potatoes almost by instinct, then put them on the cutting board and started chopping. After he finished, Xiaomo told him to put them in a bowl and soak them in clean water. Tang Zhen asked curiously, why do we need to soak the cut soil balls in water? Is there any particular reason for that? Xiaomo answered, because potatoes have a high starch content. Soaking them in water can wash out the starch on the surface and prevent oxidation. It improves the taste. Soaked potato shreds won't stick to the pan, and they taste crisp too. They are perfect for making hot and sour potato shreds, which are super appetizing. After Xiaomo finished frying the squirrel fish, she started to make the sauce. Under the shocked gazes of Tang Zhen and the others, the bright red sauce gradually took shape and thickened. It had the perfect sweet and sour taste. An enticing aroma filled the air. When the hot sauce touched the fried fish, it made a sizzling sound. The already enticing aroma became even richer now. Then, she put some fine green scallion tips on the side as decoration. The stunning finished squirrel fish amazed Tang Zhen and the others. Soon Xiaomo finished stir-frying all the remaining dishes. It was a visual feast comparable to an acrobatic show. Her skilled and graceful wok-tossing skills, the ingredients never fell out of the wok no matter how much she tossed it. They glistened with oil under the high heat, releasing the most original aroma of the ingredients. Then she sprinkled on seasonings, and after taking them out of the wok and plating them, they turned into plates of delicious dishes. Bring the dishes out. We're ready to eat. Don't touch that. Let me do it. As soon as Rabbit Dad heard that dinner was finally ready, he quickly waddled his fluffy body and pushed past Tang Zhen and the others, grabbed the squirrel fish quickly and accurately, and ran outside with it. Tang Zhen and the others were not willing to fall behind either. Each of them carried a dish and ran outside. Xiaomo was just about to pick up the congee pot when 2 big hands reached out of nowhere. Let me do that. Lu Jingshu put both pots on the tray. Then he smiled and said, let's go. Let's go taste the delicious food you made. Xiaomo smiled softly and hummed in response. She took the bowls and chopsticks and followed him out. Xiaomu Feng, who came to inform Lu Jingshu that the stone-horned worms had been cleaned, just stepped through the door. When he smelled a rich mixed aroma, his eyes were full of surprise. What is that? It smells so good. Lu Jingshu gave a quick explanation that Xiaomo made delicious dishes. Only then did Xiaomo Feng suddenly realize, and he looked at Xiaomo. So Miss Jian is a chef. He walked quickly to the table with a big grin as he spoke. Better to arrive at the right time than early. I'm in for a real treat today. These dishes look really great. They are perfect in color, aroma, and flavor. Bunny Dad nodded. Of course they are. My kid is the best. He pulled Xiaomo Feng to sit down. He said warmly, sit down, let me tell you. The food my kid cooks, I promise you'll want more after the first bite. Xiaomo Feng nodded. I can tell. Especially that dish with such bright color. That nicely shaped fish, its aroma is way too strong. It's creeping right into his nose from everywhere. It's making the glutton in his stomach go crazy. He can't stop his mouth from watering. Come on, everyone give it a try. Xiaomo is very confident in her cooking skills. She handed out bowls and chopsticks to everyone present. She warmly invited everyone to taste the food. Bunny Dad is such a good father. While everyone else was holding chopsticks and tasting the food, he quickly grabbed a spoon. He filled Xiaomo's bowl full of rice. "Come on, kiddo, eat up. You haven't had a proper meal in days," Xiaomo said with a smile. "Thank you so much, Bunny Dad." Just then, a piece of fish fell into her bowl. "Eat more, you've worked hard." Xiaomo turned her head immediately. She met Lu Jingshu's gaze right away. The man had a soft expression on his face. There was a smile in his eyes. He looked unbelievably handsome. Xiaomo smiled and thanked him in return. But when Xiao Mufeng saw Lu Jingshu smile, he couldn't help but gasp. Shima gave him a confused look. "Are the dishes not to your liking, sir?" Before Xiao Mufeng could reply, Lu Jingshu spoke first. "I forgot to introduce him to you all. This is Xiao Mufeng, Division Commander of the 1st Division." Xiao Mufeng was just about to praise Xiaomo generously, but he was cut off by a sharp glare from Lu Jingshu. Tang Zhen also put a piece of cucumber into his bowl. "Hurry up and eat, or there'll be none left soon." Xiao Mufeng glanced across the table. A bunch of guys were eating like they were starved. They were using serving chopsticks and spoons. They were moving their chopsticks so fast that the food on the plates was decreasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. He saw everyone going for the squirrel fish, so he also put a piece of fish into his mouth to taste. The moment the fish touched his tongue, he froze. "It's so freaking delicious. Is this even the same fish I've had before?" The fish meat is so tender and fresh. There's not a trace of fishy smell. The sauce is sweet and sour, just the right taste. It makes your appetite go through the roof. The taste is absolutely superb. It's just incomparably delicious. You can't help but want a second bite right after the first. Xiao Mufeng's eyes lit up. He said, "This is so good. I need to have more to savor it." He reached out with his chopsticks, but they stopped mid-air above the plate. Xiao Mufeng's expression turned from surprise to shock. "Where's my fish? Where did the fish go?" In the cafeteria, his voice full of shock and disappointment echoed around. In the empty plate, let alone fish bones, there wasn't even a single drop of sauce left. Everyone was eating with a look of pure bliss on their faces. As for Xiao Mufeng's comment just now, they showed with their actions that they only cared about eating. He can say whatever he wants. Just then, Lu Jingshu looked up. He said with a smile, "Don't rush, everyone. We have big bugs to eat later." Hearing that, Xiao Mufeng asked in shock, "Are you kidding me? Those super poisonous bugs, how can humans eat them? Won't we die right on the spot?" Shima put down her bowl and chopsticks. She let out a long sigh of relief. It feels so good to have a proper staple meal. I promise no one will die from eating them. What's more, you'll want more after trying them. By the way, is the pot ready? Xiao Mufeng froze for a second when he heard that. The people from the maintenance department did deliver something that looked like a pot earlier. He was wondering what it was back then. So it's a pot for cooking zergs. Tang Zhen asked curiously, "Is it the bug I'm thinking of?" "Can you teach me how to cook bugs?" Shema nodded. She couldn't be happier that someone wants to learn. As long as someone takes the lead to eat them, and given enough time for the trend to spread, it's only a matter of time before zerg dishes become popular across the entire empire. "Come on, I'll teach you how to cook bugs." The square was packed with people right now. Soldiers resting at the base all ran over to watch the fun. Division Commander Li Shaofeng looked at the tied-up big green crab. Then he looked at the pile of larvae in the box that were crawling all over the place. He grabbed Chincho by the collar. He shook him wildly and roared, "The zerg are fucking poisonous, don't you know that? Are you out of your mind?" After saying that, Li Shaofeng pulled out the particle pistol from his waist. He was ready to shoot the big green crab dead. But before he could pull the trigger, Shamo's voice came over, "Don't shoot that bug. Don't kill it, it's such a waste." The woman who suddenly appeared in front of him made Li Shaofeng freeze for a second. He held up the gun and looked Xiamo up and down. A faint smile curved on his bright red thin lips. "Miss, can you tell me why you are in a restricted military area? I brought her here. Do you have a problem with that?" Lu Jingshu's voice suddenly sounded. Li Shaofeng's eyes widened in shock. "Why is the Great Demon King here? Why didn't I get any notice about this? Is it too late for me to leave right now?" The next second, he grabbed Xiamo's hand. He said sincerely, "Ma'am, welcome to Giant 5-7 Stars, our guest. On behalf of all the soldiers of the 1st Legion, I extend my warm and sincere welcome to you." Xiamo was a little curious. What kind of reputation does Lu Jingshu have anyway? That these people act like mice seeing a cat the moment they see him. But Lu Jingshu saw that Li Xiaofeng was holding Xiaomo's hand and wouldn't let go. He snorted unhappily immediately. Let go of her hand now. When Li Xiaofeng saw Lu Jingshu's expression, he couldn't help but gasp, "Boss? I'm letting go, please don't hit me." Just then, Bunny Dad said discontentedly, "Can you guys stop messing around?" Eating bugs is more important. Shima nodded repeatedly, right. Eating bugs is more important. Let's get started then. It will take a while to steam such a big green crab. Xiaomo used this window of time to teach Tang Zhen and the others how to handle small green crabs. With the joint effort of 6 people, after about an hour, all the hundreds of pounds of crabs were fully handled. Next, it was time for the official cooking. Jian Yan poured Sichuan peppercorns and dried chilies into the pot. Under high heat stir-frying, a strong, spicy, and numbing aroma was released. In an instant, the whole square was filled with the sounds of sneezing and swallowing. Bunny Dad couldn't stop drooling because he was so craving it. Seeing this, Lu Jingshu took a handkerchief out of his pocket and handed it to him. "Wipe your mouth. You're a hundreds of years old rabbit, and you're still drooling. Aren't you embarrassed? I'm not even a human. What do I have to be embarrassed about?" Bunny Dad retorted confidently. But he still snatched the handkerchief and wiped his mouth randomly with his paw. Just then, Xiaomo took beer and pixie and dubanjiang from the system warehouse. She poured them into the pot. Then she poured the cleaned crab pieces in. The olive green crab shells, under high heat stir-frying, turned into a bright, glossy red. It makes your mouth water just looking at it. A soldier swallowed and said, "It smells so good. This smell is so addictive." Someone looks resistant, yet with a hint of expectation underneath. But those are zerg. They're toxic, fishy, and hideous. Zerg that look absolutely disgusting. What's wrong with zerg? As long as they're edible and tasty, nothing matters. Right at this moment, Xiaomo scoops the cooked spicy crabs from the pot into a basin. "It's all done. Uncle Tang, try one. Dad, Marshall Liu, you guys have a taste too. Finally, we get to eat." This rabbit has been salivating like crazy. Rabbit Dad's eyes light up instantly. He scoops up a piece of meat and brings it to his mouth. He takes a small slurp. The spicy, numbing, fragrant, and savory soup wakes up his sensitive taste buds instantly. Right after that comes an overwhelming urge to gobble up everything. Rabbit Dad licks off all the soup, stuck on his furry paws clean, and lets out a yell, "That's so good! Baby, get me some more!" Xiaomo points at the basin full of crabs, motioning for Rabbit Dad to take the whole thing. Rabbit Dad happily picks up the basin immediately and leaves. Then he gets surrounded by Lu Jingshu and the others. One rabbit and a group of people huddle around the basin, eating heartily. Only Lu Jingshu still manages to keep his composure. Qin Che and the others already have red oil all over their hands and mouths. At the same time, Tang Zhen and several other chefs are standing in front of 5 large pots respectively. They are all stirring the food in the pots with their spatulas. The rich, alluring aroma spreads in all directions through the air. More and more soldiers have their appetites and cravings woken up at the same time. They exchange a glance with each other and follow the scent despite their lingering confusion. Just then, Lu Jingshu puts the shelled crab meat into a bowl. Then he walks over to Xiaomo's side. "Miss Jean, have some." Xiaomo freezes for a second. "Is this for me?" "Yes, you've worked hard, Miss Jean." The devastatingly handsome man has a faint smile on his lips. Actually, Xiaomo isn't that interested in pre-shelled spicy crabs. What she loves about eating them is the fun of peeling the shells and sucking the soup off them. Spicy crabs with only meat and no shells have no soul at all. But Lu Jingshu already brought it over to her. She can't really turn down his kind gesture. After finishing the crab meat, she needs to prepare the sauce for the steamed crabs. "Do you need any help?" Before Xiaomo can answer, Lu Jingshu reaches out first to take the bowl from her hand. When his slightly cool fingertips brush against hers, Xiaomo pauses for a moment. Lu Jingshu looks completely unfazed and says, "To be honest, Miss Jean, I want to learn your recipes secretly. My grandmother at home has a poor appetite. I want to learn a few dishes from you, Miss Jian, so I can make them for her when I go home as a filial gesture." Xiaomo doesn't buy his words at all. As the marshal of the expeditionary force, there's no way his family doesn't have private chefs. But the way he's looking at her makes Xiaomo's scalp tingle slightly. She only dares to complain about it silently in her head. But she nods obediently and says okay on the surface. Lu Jingshu's gaze doesn't move away from her. He looks at her even more intently instead. "Well then, Miss Jean, let's talk about the tuition fee for the lessons." Xiaomo stares at Lu Jingshu blankly. What tuition fee? Lu Jingshu answers, I'm a law-abiding and virtuous person. I can't let you teach me for free, Miss Jean. He then continues to ask, Miss John, how much do you want as payment? How about 10,000 per dish? Does that work for the tuition? Besides that, I promise that the dishes I learn from you, Miss Jian, I will not use them for business or spread the recipes to others. Does that make you feel more reassured? Xiama nods absent-mindedly. Lu Jingshu feels so weird to her. First, he gave her a friend zone speech. Then he praised himself out loud. Now he says he wants to pay her tuition fees. And he's even using honorifics when talking to her. He's the interstellar marshal after all. There's no need for him to be this polite to a commoner like her. Seeing her looking hesitant and uneasy, Lu Jingshu asks, Miss Jian, do you have any questions? Xiamo acts on a sudden impulse and blurts out, how much is 10,000 worth exactly? Lu Jingshu answers, if you don't buy luxury goods and spend like an average student, it's enough for you to live on for more than 3 months. Xiama blushes and shakes her head quickly. Thank you for explaining that, Marshal Lu. I don't have any more questions. Let's go make the sauce now. Lu Jingshu is such a curious baby. He turns into a walking question mark throughout the sauce-making process. Xiamo isn't exactly a gentle and considerate person by nature. Normally, a man with as many questions as Lu Jingshu would have been shut down by her so hard he'd be speechless. But Lu Jingshu has superpowers and high status. She really doesn't have the guts to talk back to him. But when she sees the reddish-black sauce Lu Jingshu made, Xiamo's entire body screams resistance. Lu Jingshu dips a finger in the sauce and puts it in his mouth to taste it. Then Xiamo sees a real-life version of a blushing man. Lu Jingshu starts blushing from his face at a speed visible to the naked eye, then to his ears and all the way down to his neck. He turns from a noble, aloof fallen immortal into a breathtakingly charming devil. He was so stunningly beautiful that Xiamo just stares at him dumbfounded. This man is way too perfect. So perfect that some inappropriate thoughts pop up in her head. But to stop herself from being bewitched by his good looks, she subconsciously wants to change the subject. Just then, Tang Zhen and the others call out, Xiamo! We've finished cooking! Xiamo thinks to herself that her savior has finally arrived. She points in the direction of Tang Zhen and the others, and says, let's go check it out. Then she turns around and walks away quickly. Lu Jingshu watches her retreating back, and mumbles to himself, oh no, my charm seems to be fading. Is it because I skipped my skincare routine these days? Looks like I need to take extra good care of my skin tonight. Right at this moment, Chincha walks over and says, boss, be honest with me. Do you have a crush on Miss Jian? Lu Jingshu is shocked at the question and says, no, definitely not. I'm the marshal of the expeditionary force and the president's biological brother. What kind of woman can't I get? There's no way I'd fall for. All right, fine. I do have a huge crush on her. Everything about this girl is exactly my type. She's like a feisty little kitten. So damn cute. She even acts like a cat. Plus, she's an amazing cook. Everything she makes is so delicious. He's muttering so fast that even with Chinche's exceptional hearing, he can't make out what his boss just said. Lu Jingshu wants to ask Chinche for advice on how to chase girls, but thinking about his completely non-existent love life, he's too embarrassed to ask. He decides that when he goes back to his room to rest at night, he'll search for information on the Star Network himself, or post an anonymous question to ask netizens how to court a girl. On the other side, Xiamo calculates the time, then yells to everyone, the green crabs are done! Get ready to eat the crabs! Hearing that, Lu Jingshu says to his subordinates nearby, you can start setting up the dining area now. They first lift the huge pot lid, then take the giant bright red steamed green crabs out of the pot and place them slowly on the tablecloth. But Xiamo looks at the giant crabs and starts worrying. How on earth is she supposed to break these crabs apart? So Xiamo looks over at Rabbit Dad and says, Dad, it's your turn to take over. Just like how you take apart the black flame dragon cloud bugs. Break these crabs apart. No problem, right? But before Rabbit Dad can answer, Lu Jingshu cuts in and says, there is a problem. He points at Rabbit Dad's fur that's stained with spicy crab oil and says meaningfully, it's not hygienic enough. Xiamo looks Rabbit Dad up and down and also agrees with Lu Jingshu's point. Then you guys break the crabs apart. I'll tell you how to do it. After she explains the disassembly steps and process in detail, a group of high-ranking men, all at least majors, answered in unison, standing straight and upright, with solemn expressions as if they were receiving an inspection from superior leaders. Xiama felt awkward seeing this. She waved her hand and said, relax, relax. We're just breaking down the tactic, that's all. No need to be so serious. Hearing that, Chincha saluted Xiaomo. Miss Jian, you have no idea what eliminating the Zerg with just words means to us. This is a big deal for us. And even for every citizen of the entire empire. Any opportunity or hope that can eliminate the Zerg is worth us being fully prepared for. Xiaomo apologized. She really hadn't considered the current situation of the empire, nor had she considered the feelings of Qin and the others, who have been fighting the Zerg year after year, as soldiers on the front line. Just then, Lu Jingshu activated the lightsaber on his wrist, cut through the rope binding the giant green crab, then sliced the enormous green crab right in half. At this moment, Qincha and a few others had already stepped onto their hoverboards and flown onto the crab's back, removed the two halves of the crab shell, then took their lightsabers, carefully cleaned out the gills and stomach. This giant green crab is a female. The orange crab roe is covered with a thin layer of crab fat. The melted fat slowly drips down from the cut edge. A soldier stared at the giant crab cut in half, salivating nonstop. I think this big bug tastes even better than the spicy bug we just ate. Way better. Xiao Mu Feng and Papa Rabbit stared at the exposed crab roe, swallowing hard. Adonis. What's this yellow stuff? It smells so good, Papa Rabbit licked his lips, nodding in agreement. I don't know what it is. I just know I want to eat it. Baby, can we eat now? Hearing Papa Rabbit's question, Xiaomo immediately picked up a crab leg and handed it to Papa Rabbit. Sure, the crab meat inside can be eaten directly or dipped in sauce. Both ways taste great. Papa Rabbit quickly stretched out his furry paw, took the crab leg and tossed it into his mouth. His three-lobed mouth moving, ate everything, shell and all. Seeing this, Xiaomo helplessly picked up another crab leg, ready to dig out the meat, and give the pure meat to Papa Rabbit. She didn't believe that after tasting the shell-free, delicious crab meat, Papa Rabbit would still eat the shell. Her plan was great, but the reality was, the crab shell here was unbelievably hard. She tried her best, but couldn't even cut a crack in it. Just then, Lu Jingshu smiled and handed her a crab claw with a large section of meat exposed. The shell of the stonehorn bug ranks top 10 in hardness among all Zergi. You don't have enough strength. You'll hurt yourself if you try to break it by force. Xiaomo responded with a bright smile, took the crab leg and said, Marshal Lu, can I give this piece of meat to Papa Rabbit? Lu Jingshu nodded. Of course you can. Give this one to him? I'll dig out another one for you. Xiaomo called out, Papa Rabbit, come quick. Coming, coming! What do you need me for? Zama made a gesture. Papa Rabbit, open your mouth. Hearing that, Papa Rabbit subconsciously opened his three-lobed mouth. Then a piece of crab meat dipped in ginger vinegar sauce entered his mouth. As Papa Rabbit chewed the crab meat, the expression on his furry face softened instantly. He squinted his eyes, showing a completely blissful expression. The soldiers who were whispering to each other about whether the big bug tasted good saw the expression on his face and froze immediately. Adonis's expression is so tempting. I can't wait to try it first. With that said, a soldier darted out like lightning. Bros, if I get poisoned, just shoot me an antidote, okay? Then he rushed to the giant green crab, grabbed a crab leg, cut through the shell with his bayonet, exposing a section of tender white crab meat. He squinted and chewed once. Then his face showed the exact same expression as Papa Rabbit, dreamy, overflowing with bliss. Seeing this scene, the soldiers could no longer hold back their ravenous cravings, rushed over to madly grab the crab legs. Shima noticed no one was touching the crab roe, so she poked Lu Jingshu. Marshal Lu, can you help me? The crab roe is the best part of the giant green crab. Even better than the crab meat. Hearing that, Papa Rabbit widened his eyes. It's even better than the crab meat? How delicious can that be? Crab roe and crab paste are the essence of the giant green crab. Only female crabs have roe, and it has a natural ocean flavor. When you put it in your mouth, the savory roe melts right away. As Xiaomo spoke, she almost made herself drool. Just then, several loud gulps of saliva were heard. She turned her head to look. Papa Rabbit was staring at the crab roe, drooling all over the place. Xiao Mufeng, Qincha, and the others all turned their heads to look at Xiaomo and Lu Jingshu. Boss, we want to eat the crab roe. Lu Jingshu was actually craving it too, but he kept his composure. After slowly swallowing the crab meat in his mouth, he said, if you want to eat it, get it yourself. Don't expect me to get it for you. With that, he stepped on his hoverboard and left them behind to dig up crab roe. Papa Rabbit hopped and yelled, bring back more! Then they saw Lu Jingshu take out a pot and a spoon, from his space buckle to scoop up the crab roe. Seeing this scene, Li Xiaofeng couldn't hold back any longer, yelled loudly, and stepped on his hoverboard to rush towards the crab roe. When they saw Lu Jingshu's hand reaching out again, Qin Che and the others acted like they'd seen a ghost, jumped up on their hoverboards to chase after Li Xiaofeng. The soldiers eating crab meat looked speechless and said, "Marshal!" They're all starting to fight over that yellow stuff. This thing looks ugly. Is it really better than bug meat? One of the majors cut off a piece of crab roe and put it in his mouth. Then he squinted his eyes and started savoring the taste of the crab roe carefully. Then his eyes suddenly widened. This yellow stuff is actually better than bug meat. They finally understood at that moment what Miss Jean meant when she said spare the bug. And killing it is such a waste. We weren't just wasting it before. We were wasting it to the extreme. Meanwhile, Lu Jingshu was already holding a pot full of crab roe and returned to Xiamo and Papa Rabbit's side. Then the two people and one rabbit surrounded the pot and started eating happily. Xiamo and Lu Jingshu's mental avatars. The little kitten and the little golden dragon both popped out, squatted on their shoulders, staring at the crab roe, salivating. The little kitten even let out soft, sweet meows. Xiamo turned her head to look at the little kitten. No matter how sweet and pitiful you meow, I can't give you any. Hearing that, the little kitten stared at her with wide, shocked eyes, looking like it was thinking, how can you be so cruel and heartless? You don't even have a physical body. Even if I gave you some, you couldn't eat it? The little kitten didn't listen at all, its fur all puffed up, and meowed at Xiamo rapidly with a clear rhythm. Xiamo said, annoyed, "It's no use scolding me. You just can't eat it, that's all. Also, are you stupid? You're my mental avatar. Scolding me is the same as scolding yourself." The little kitten that was scolding enthusiastically was shocked by her words, stared at her with round cat eyes for a long time. Then the whole kitten deflated. Even its meows became weak and listless. The little golden dragon was heartbroken seeing this and glared fiercely at Xiamo. Then it swept the little kitten away with its tail. Seeing this scene, Xiamo was completely dumbfounded. Lu Jingshu's spiritual mimic? Why is it curling up my spiritual mimic and running off with it? Meanwhile, Lu Jingshu chuckled softly in his heart. Great job, little golden dragon. It perfectly expressed what was on my mind. Lu Jingshu, who was secretly praising his spiritual mimic in his heart, suddenly felt two burning gazes fixed on him. He looked up and saw Father Rabbit's eyes full of anger, while Xiamo's were filled with confusion and bewilderment. Father Rabbit stared at Lu Jingshu with cold eyes. "Kid, I may have lost my memory, but I definitely know common sense. Have you figured out how you want to die? How dare you take advantage of my kid? This bastard deserves to die." Before he finished speaking, the sharp, blade-like claws on his paws popped out. The expression on his face was also extremely ferocious, looking like, if you don't give me a satisfying answer, I'll kill you right now. Lu Jingshu explained awkwardly. The little kitten was sad. Spiritual mimics can affect the host's emotions. I was worried that Xiamo would be in a bad mood, so I asked the little golden dragon to take the little kitten aside to comfort it. Xiamo didn't think much of it after hearing Lu Jingshu's explanation. I only felt that it was feeling regretful, regretting that it has no body so it can't eat anything. Hearing that, Father Rabbit shook his head helplessly. This silly kid didn't get the point of what he said at all. He was worried that if his kid found out she was taken advantage of, she would bawl her eyes out. But if he doesn't tell her, she won't pay attention in the future. What if someone curls up her spiritual mimic and runs off with it? This old father was caught in a real dilemma. After Lu Jingshu saw the worry in Father Rabbit's eyes, he was stunned for a moment. Then he rubbed his hair and said with a bitter smile, "Fine, I'll teach her." Lack of common sense is a big problem. He didn't want to hide this from Xiamo, just for a little bit of his own selfish desire. Otherwise, if an accident really happens someday, he will regret it for the rest of his life. Hearing that, Father Rabbit glared at Lu Jingshu threateningly. "Teach her properly. I'm right here listening. If you dare hold anything back, I'll kill you." Xiamo was a little confused. "Oh, so you're going to teach me something? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" Father Rabbit took a vicious bite of crab roe. "It's neither good nor bad. It's just common sense for people who have spiritual mimics. Listen carefully, because this is related to your personal safety." Xiamo sat up straight and looked at Lu Jingshu. "Teacher Lu, I'm ready. You can start the class now." The title Teacher Lu made Lu Jingshu's heart skip a beat instantly. Oh my god, how can she be this cute? He let out a long breath, telling himself to calm down. With his ears burning bright red, He cleared his throat and said, "Your spiritual mimic is one with you. Only with you can your spiritual mimic exist. Do you understand?" Shamma nodded. "Of course I do. The little kitten and I are one to begin with. I just lost my memory. It's not like I'm an idiot with lowered IQ. Teacher Lu, you don't have to specially... Wait, something seems off here." Shamo's expression turned weird. She stared at Lu Jingshu for a long time, before squeezing a sentence out between her teeth. "You actually took advantage of me. The little kitten is one with me." Which also means the little kitten is me. Lu Jingshu's little golden dragon curled up my little kitten and ran off, which is equivalent to Lu Jingshu without asking for my consent, carrying me off and running away. Just the thought of the feeling the little kitten passed to me made Xiaomo break out in goosebumps all over her body. Bastard! I've never been taken advantage of like this in my entire life. "I'm gonna beat you to death!" Xiaoma angrily threw the spoon at Lu Jingshu's face. Then she lunged at him, ready to beat him up.